Well, it's still hot, but you know, it's not awful. Valves are adjusted, and all the pushrod tube seals are replaced, so that's nice. What else we got to do? We got to space out the exhaust. We got to replace the fuel injectors. I think that's pretty much it. And we can fire it up, put tin back together, that kind of stuff. But there's a shock absorber kerfluffle. So we'll see about some shock absorber fun, but that's not necessary. What's necessary is fuel injectors, exhaust spacing. That's the necessary stuff. So let me show you what I got going on. There you can see the gap in the exhaust. I need to fill that gap with something in between here and here. If I don't have that though, if I don't have that space, right, then the oil tube, as you can see, would sit right on the exhaust, the oil fill. But with that space, we got clearance to the oil fill, and it's actually a little bit more clearance than that when it's, you know, held in the bolted up position. So there's these gaskets for both sides, being left and right. But if I use two of these with a piece of spacer metal in between, like so, if you will, imagine it like that. And I actually gain a decent advantage because it doesn't need to be a super thick piece of steel. I'm actually taking up space with the crush gaskets on both sides. So I kind of like that idea. And all that means I need to do is take this 1/4 inch stock of steel that I've got laying around, and I traced the gaskets onto it. And then all I need to do is cut it, drill it, and fit it up. There you go. These plus that equals bus running. Can't wait. So let me hop to it. And we'll make those. If I had a fancy plasma cutter or something like that, it'd be real easy. But I don't have that. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Cutting. It's also hot out still. I think I said that already, but it is. If I've said it too many times, it's because I'm delirious from the heat. So I do have my makeshift AC still going in the shop here, and it's cooling it down to a balmy 82 degrees. And so I'm going to keep rocking that. I'm not exactly excited to suit up and be spark-proofed, but got to do what you got to do. All right, less yapping, more working. There you go. I punched out the other holes. Once again, on these beautifully cool days, my recording device is overheating from time to time. Now it's down to cutting these apart and shaping them. I don't have to be real precise with the shape. Honestly, they could be square boxes, but I just thought it'd be nice to kind of dress them a little bit to shape. They'll fit up a little bit slicker and more in place and all that. So that's what we got. Again, here's our gasket. It's going to go in front here and behind, both sides. And if you're worried about flow, don't be. The actual exhaust size is this same ID. The gasket is a little bit bigger, as one might imagine, and so I didn't want to go to the gasket size. I decided to go more towards the exhaust size, and we'll be okay. Yippee! I'm going to get to cutting and shaping. Okay, so here's how we're looking. We got our adapters. I already stacked one, but we've got the plate done. Got gaskets for each side of the plate. This is going to give us our thickness. Anything a little bit less than a 1/2 inch is cozy. So by the time this is all squished down, it's about there. This one fits nice and cozy, gaskets and adapter. So that's what we got. Just a little spacer. I call it an adapter. It's not an adapter, it's a spacer. So yeah. Well, now I'm gonna take and thread chase it because these threads are a little on the nasty side and I want everything to thread up butter smooth. The thing about this is that installing these one person, you just got to be able to thread these up quick. Find the threads and get something started. A little bit of a balancing game, if you will. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. How's your day? Hope my device isn't overheating again. It's been at it for a bit. It's warm. It's a hot one. I think it's supposed to be hot all week though, so you're going to hear me say that a lot. Now, the deal is that this has heater boxes on it that are off of a California emissions car, and this exhaust unit isn't for those, so I think that's why our fit up's a little funny and the spacing's off. I'm not 100%, hey now, not 100% sure, but it really doesn't matter. Made spacers are growing on, it's going to have a fun time with them. It'll all be good. I'm just looking forward to firing it up with the new injectors and tuning it in a little bit, and having Paul be happy. Okay, this side. Man, I'm moving like an old man in the heat. Paul is balling on a budget, as they say. It's ready to bolt up. Question is, am I ready to bolt it up? And the answer's no, but I have no choice. All right, let's see about it. It's looking okay. Get a washer on here. Let's see if we can get a nut on here as well. This is why I thread chased him, so that I can tighten it up as best as possible by finger. Okay, I think we're in all right shape. Gotta leave it loose so I can get the other side. And we'll see what we got. Even with the thread chasing, they can be a little hard to thread. Got the two lower ones, and do the upper one now. You'd think I was torturing it. It's nothing of the sort. I treated it according to the Geneva Convention. crying out like a stuck pig. Snug as a bug in a car shop. Tighten up the other side. Get our Titan on. Bam, ba, na, 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 na. I'm tightening things. Snug this one up too. Nobody can be left out. Thank goodness I thread chased this upper one, because I was able to tighten up a finger there. There's not a lot of swing room on it. Not a lot of sugar. Almost there. Almost there. Getting to be almost there. Pretty close to there. It's there. Where is there? I don't know. We're pretty close. As you can hear, it's screaming out in pain because of all of this unfairness. I'm going to say that's it. We got some nice crush along here on the bottom of the gasket. Got a decent amount of crush up top. It's 2 bolts on the bottom and 1 up top, so you can't really get it much better than that. And I don't want to strip anything out. So we'll see if we have any exhaust leaks, but I don't think we will. And I'm not going to fire it up yet because I've got more to do with fuel injectors and that kind of stuff. But I am going to just confidently put the tinware back in. And if there's any exhaust leaks, I'll inspect it from just back here with a flashlight. I can always tighten this stuff up without having to remove that tinware. It's just a little extra tight spaces, but it's not the end of the world. So there you go. Exhaust spacers installed. Oh yeah, and the most important part of the whole mix. Let's see if we even did anything. It's hard to tell from this angle, but it would appear we did. There's airspace all around that tube. We'll check it from the top. As you can see from the top here, there's a lot of room there. There you go, that gives a better idea. Factory bend and the factory oil pipe. Exhaust fits up nice. I'll be able to put the heat shielding on and set everything up. Well, my beautiful airheads, let me tell you, Paul is going to be so happy with this thing, and that makes me really happy. I've still got to do the fuel injectors on it, but now the muffler is spaced out so that it's no longer hitting the oil fill tube. The oil fill tube is the correct angle. It's no longer a banged up, dented, bented one. We got all new pushrod tube seals, no oil leaks. Still got to fill it with oil. Should probably do that before I forget. I'll make a note. Put it on the key. Anyway, I'm gonna move right along. Get to replacing these fuel injectors, connecting up the alternator, and replacing all this breastplate tin. Well, not replacing, but reinstalling all the breastplate tin. And it'll be ready to go kapow kablam. He's gonna be so happy. You don't have a clue. You don't have an idea of what this vehicle means to my friend Paul. It's freedom. And unfortunately, freedom's rusting real bad. And Freedom's engine was, and Freedom wasn't able to go anywhere. So the name of the vehicle is not Freedom. It's our getaway. But point is, it represents freedom. And Paul's freedom was starting to kind of cave in from all sides. Not anymore. Now, it's just rust. The engine, A+. Here's something that's awesome. It's a beautiful day. And it's not like 1,000,000 degrees outside. I've got the door open and we're just floating a little bit less than 80. If that thing can be trusted. I'm not sure it can. Here's something that's not awesome. Doing rear shock absorbers on Paul's lovely bus. And as you can see, this upper shock mount has been repaired. They welded a plate to it at some point right here, right? And there's your shock mount bolt goes through, yada, yada. You're getting the idea. Okay. There's the shock and a hammer and a rusted old bolt. Look at this side. How fun is that? This is the old non-existent version right here. I like it. That one comes for free. So anyway, this doesn't have the weld repair, but it's gonna get a weld repair. I gotta fix that before I can put a shock on. And that is the fun that we're having. Now, what's really fun is that from center to center, okay, so down here is where the lower shock bolts, you get it. So from down here to what was up here is 23 inches center to center at like a little bit of an angle, but who's counting? I need to measure something. And I did that by measuring this busted up side over here. I just figured whatever, I'll take a center measurement from there to down here, and it was 23 inches. So that's great. And now I got to get to fabbing and replacing, and we're going to see what happens. Once there's a shock on here, on both sides, replacement shocks, Paul will be much happier, and this thing will be just about ready to get out of here with everything that I've done to patch it up and make it happy. So just thought I'd show you the beginnings of this, and I can show you what I'm going to do as well. So I've got some old shock sleeves, right? This guy that I'm spinning on this bolt, and this is an old bolt of some sort. I think it was actually from a beam, but it's a decent length for a shock absorber bolt. And I'm going to take and weld a nut to the back side of this sleeve that corresponds to this thread pitch, and then I'm going to weld the sleeve up in here, probably weld it to a plate. There's no nut back there, it's just stuck in place. But, you know, something like that. So weld it to a plate, weld the plate over this, weld a nut to the back side of the sleeve, and we should be shocking and absorbing. So anyway, I'm going to get started on that. I'll show you some progress as we go, or maybe just the final product, because I got to get this off the lift. It's time to start in on some other fun stuff. And here's where we're at so far. Spot weld, tack welds on there, got them ground down so they're pretty looking. And then was able to tag it in the back. It's kind of lumpy welds back there, but I was able to tag it, which is nice. And so it's got a little rear support. It's sitting, sort of hard to get the light on it back there. But it's sitting on the metal back there, and then it's tagged on the metal on this side. And the next step of things is to puzzle piece some metal into the tooth that's missing there. and weld it all up so that it, you know, is somewhat resemblant of a tower and will have a little structure. And if it breaks and falls off of there, hey, it's happened before. So, you know, trying to give him something that he hasn't had in a long time. You know, not exactly concourse in terms of the repair. And you know what? That's okay. It doesn't always have to be perfect for you to be able to enjoy it, have fun. Sometimes it can be rough around the edges. It can be rusting out, have rivets all on the body. You can still enjoy it. You can still love it. You can still be like, this is my place of freedom. My happy place is in a rusted sardine can. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing that. Got a little chunk of plate steel here of a reasonable thickness, and I'm just gonna sort of do a little etch-a-sketch. Although a little overlap wouldn't hurt, but whatever. It'll have a little overlap behind that corner. Good enough for now. Damn near died. Sure. That'll work for me. Pretty. Let's go ahead and tack it in place. That didn't turn out half bad now, did it? Got a little grinding down to do, and that we will do. And then we should be able to bolt a shock up to it. Good times. Well, shoot. I ain't saying it's the most perfect thing ever, but it's pretty. I didn't expect it to be pretty. Look at that. A little grinding, a little welding. Sure, you're gonna see some weld scars, but who in life doesn't have some weld scars? And, most importantly, the thread's just fine. Fine and dandy. We'll be able to put a shock absorber on this. How long will it shock absorb for? You know, I'm not really worried about that part. I'm gonna give it a little paint, a little chassis black so it can look nice and pretty, and get to bolting up the shocks. So hey, time to put shocks on. I painted it up, check it out. It's still drying, but I'm gonna throw the shocks on. And doesn't look half bad. We got there. It's a quick one. No judgment. Well, let's give this thing a test drive. It's running pretty decent overall. Got it set at a 900 idle. It's nice that he keeps his filters there. And safety first. I guess. Yeah. I won't die, maybe. We've got a new ignition switch coming in, so this is the rigged up setup. Yeah, here we go. It's pretty peppy. a floating cloud of rust. And I love it. I don't know if they have a horn. I think they do. Yep, they sure do. Hey man, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. We'll all be. A little bit of a high idle now. I'll have to tone that down maybe. But hey, if that's the only thing, then we're good. Well, yeah. This is living. This is all it should be. That guy's a jerk. Never make a bus slow down. It's hard enough to get it up and going. I'm sure the radio works, but with the wind chime, you know, who needs it? Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Get a little John Denver going. That's the stuff. So you like wind chimes? Well, let me show you my bus. It's a good bus. And it has all of the chimes. Oh, I could do this all day. This thing cruises. Oh, that's so sweet. I haven't even popped it into 4th gear yet. You need to be out at highway for that stuff. That's saucy. So I couldn't help myself. We got a little bit of a rainfall here. But after that passed, the temperatures cooled down. It's just gorgeous out right now. I mean, it is as nice as it ever gets. And so I reached out to Paul and I was like, hey man, can I just cruise this to your place and deliver it to you? And he's gonna give me a lift back. And he was like, heck yeah. So I'm driving it on over to Paul's place and just enjoying it. I mean, this is really fun. It's nice when you've got one that you can just drive and no frills, doesn't need to be the fanciest bus around. It just gets you from point A to point B, gets you through the mud, over the river, through the woods, to Grandma's house. It's Grandma's house, Grandpa's house, Grandma's house, little bunny Foo-Foo's house. Red Riding Hood is there. I don't know why. Just, I don't know. There's something special about one that's not precious, right? And this one is not precious in the best ways. And it's precious in the best ways. With the hula girl and the turtle that'll never get back to the sea. Sorry, pal. You're screwed. Anyway, for once in a bus's life, there's a sign telling it to go slower. Who would have thought? It's nice when you put in the work and weld up a mount so you can have new rear shock absorbers, and it all comes together. I'll tell you what's not nice though. What's not nice is this dang wind chime that Paul insists on having in his bus. Good Lord. I like my engine noises, you know? I like to be able to listen to my cruising sounds. Not this freaking thing here. But, you know, such is the life of a camper. It's just beautiful weather out. It is just, hey, there's a gnome. Ridiculous.
Oh my God. Oh, you're right. You don't even have to shift.
Nope. Yeah, second gear will take you to 35 comfortably.
Whoa. Oh, this is unreal. This is unreal, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Stab the gas a little.
It really, it moves. It doesn't like bog down, you know.